Hey everybody, it's Lori with DIY Nails, and I'm going to show you today how to apply tips and get those babies smooth and even just like the salon, and then create a French manicure using dipping powders. This is probably the most requested information, is how in the world do you get a French manicure by dipping? Let's start with the nails. So as you can see here, you're going to want to pick a nail tip that is not larger than your nail. And if it is, you want to just file it down a little bit to match perfectly. But you definitely do not want to pick a tip that is too small, because it will pop off very quickly after you've completed your mani if the tip is too small. So you're just going to want to size them, apply a thin layer of glue, and press firmly and hold until it sticks, which shouldn't take more than a few seconds. And do this for all of your nails. And once you have done that, you're going to want to take your nail cutter, which can be purchased at any beauty supply or off Amazon, and clip them just a little longer than the length you want them, because you're going to end up filing some of that off. And the next stage is to shape them, but you don't have to go crazy here, because we're going to shape them a little further down in the manicure process as well. So just do a rough estimate of what you're wanting them shaped like, and make sure that you have filed them so that they're completely flush with your actual natural nail as well. And the next stage is that line right there where the tip meets the natural nail. You're going to want to file that down, not necessarily your natural nail. You just want to file that tip down so it has more of a level, flush feeling when you run your finger across it. And you're also going to want to rough up the fake tip nails so that the dip adheres better. And the first step is to prime your natural nails only. This just simply removes any excess oils that may be on your actual nail plate and helps the dips adhere better. So the next step is going to be applying a very thin line across the natural nail where the tip meets the nail, so that we don't have uneven dipping layers. I'm going to use clear for this, and as you can see, I'm brushing off any excess base coat inside the bottle, not at the top, because if you do this, it'll glue your bottle shut. So here's the line directly across the nail on the natural nail, not the tip, just so that there's a seamless transition between the tip and natural nail. So for base coat application number 2, we're going to do 3/4 of the nail, and you want to pay careful attention not to touch your side walls. Use thin and even strokes so you don't have a bunch of lumps after you dip into the powder. And as you can see, you should be dipping at a 45-degree angle straight in, but I'm running low on clear now, so I just dip as what I can access in the actual color pod jar. And then you want to brush off that. So for the next step, because we're creating those cute, adorable, colorful French mani tips, we are gonna pour the color into the manicure dipping tray, and you're gonna want this pretty full. I would say at least halfway or more. And you're going to want to use the shallow part of the dipping tray to create the smile lines. And you're going to go completely over the entire nail with your base coat. Do not touch the cuticles. The powder will actually push some of that product up to the cuticle line. So, and here you just dip very slowly. And you can kind of turn your thumb just a little bit to make sure you catch all the white edges. And then use the cuticle pusher just to scoop the clear over on the back side. So this will not disturb your adorable, cute French manicure line. And you also don't lose a lot of product or contaminate your products by using 2 different colors. So again, you're going to want to paint the entire nail, but do not touch the cuticle line. Dip slowly and have a slight angle, making sure that you get that perfect line. And I'm using a cupcake liner. Those are my go-to to catch powder. 1 for the mess, but 2 if you want to reuse powder, you can always dump it back into there. But since those are 2 different powders, I'll probably just dump it into a catch-all and make a fun color with it down the road. And go ahead and do this to all of your nails at one time. And here I've created an accent nail. So instead of doing the French on my ring finger, I went ahead and just dipped it directly into the Sunny Daze just for a little fun accent. Go ahead and grab your kabuki brush that comes with the kit and dust off all the excess powder. And at this stage, for my third and final coat, I've opted to do just a clear coat instead of doing the French manicure. And I just feel like the clear coat gives it a beautiful shine, and it also helps with filing. So at this point, I noticed that some of the product had adhered to my cuticle and sidewall, so I used the other end of my cuticle pusher and just disconnected that, because if you leave that connected, when the nail starts to grow, you'll have lifting at the back of the actual manicure, and you don't want that. So here is the final steps and stages of my third coat, dipping it in clear only. So at this stage, it is time to put on our first application of the activator. And what this does is harden all of the layers of dip powder. So you want to apply this step thoroughly and make sure that you are capping the edges, which is just simply running the brush along the edge of the nail. And what this prevents is chipping and breaking in the future. And after a few minutes, this is completely hardened, and you will be able to go at the final step of shaping your nails and make sure you disconnect if it happens to have connected on the edges. Disconnect that with the file. And I use a buffer. If it's in smooth and great condition, you may not need to do this step, but I just use that buffer if there's a little bit of bumpiness or a little bit is higher than another spot on the nail, or if you have a little imperfection. That buffer will take that out and you will have a perfect finish. Make sure you brush off all the powder before applying the second coat of activator. And this is just a quick hit of the activator on the nails and along the free edges, because again, when you cap your edges, that helps prevent chipping and cracking in the future. And after I've applied that activator and waited a minute or so, I just run over it with a lint-free cloth just to make sure it's completely dry before applying my first top coat. And top coat should be also applied in very thin, quick, and even strokes. And you also want to cap your nails with the top coat as well. This top coat usually takes about 30 to 45 seconds to dry. I usually wait that 45 seconds to a minute sometimes for that first top coat, and then I apply a second top coat. So it is up to you however you want to finish your manicure. And this is step 4 in our dipping line, and this is my second top coat, which makes the nails gorgeous. They shine so brightly and they are so crystal clear with that second top coat. And again, cap those edges. And once your mani is completely dry, you're going to want to go ahead and use your favorite cuticle oil to rehydrate your cuticles and any of the areas around the nails that get dehydrated through the dipping process. So this is definitely a fun summer color. And this color again is Sunny Daze. You can find me on Facebook at DIY Nails and Lori with DIY Nails on Instagram. And as I was writing thank you notes, I realized my nails matched perfectly. Thank you guys for watching.